Okay. Cordial greetings. Welcome to this meeting. Today we are going to develop the task 2, which asks us to make a debate about the advantages and disadvantages of Western and Eastern cultures or civilizations. Well, I'm going to start by introducing myself. My name is Camila, and I'm going to be the person who moderates this debate. My classmates Julissa and Leydi Gutierrez are going to present their arguments in favor of the Western and Eastern culture respectively, while my colleagues Emily Buitrago and Ruby Tellez are going to present their arguments against Western and Eastern civilization respectively. So, as the first step, I'm going to provide a little context to this debate. So I'm going to mention the countries and continents that are part of or belong to each culture. So I'm going to see a map. Just let me 1 minute. I'm going to share my screen. So can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. So in this map, I'm going to mark the continent, or well, the countries that belongs to the Western civilization. Okay. Canada, United States, Mexico, Colombia, Ecuador, Brazil, Argentina, Peru. In general, all Central America, all North America, all Central America, and all South America. We can also find the Europe countries like Spain, France, Germany, Poland, uh, Hungary, Italy, and the continent of Africa. We can also find the countries of Australia and New Zealand. On the other hand, we can have we can see the continents and countries that belong to the Eastern civilization. We can see Russia, China, Mongolia, India, Iran, Turkey, Kazakhstan, Mongolia, Indonesia, Japan, among others. So, okay. Well, with this context, we are ready to start this debate. This debate is going to be divided into 4 main topics: religion, culture, role of women, and education. So my partner Emily will start the debate speaking against the Western culture. Go ahead, Emily.
Okay. One of the most important elements in civilization is usually religion. And in Western civilization, Latin Christianity fractured with the rise of Protestantism as Christianity expels people who don't fit in. For decades, some countries in Western civilization have left Christianity to join the ranks of religious beliefs that describe their identify as atheists or nothing in particular. Currently, the beliefs of Western society are vulnerable since they question the existence of God above life after death. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, classmate Emily. Thanks for your participation. But Julissa Casas have to tell something about you said. Go ahead, Julissa.
Thank you, Camila. For me, the religion is not bad because Christianity is the main religious and mystical foundation of the West. Among its religions are Catholicism, its representative in the Catholic Church. The Protestant is the set of Christian sects, their church in Lutheran, Calvinist, Evangelical Judaism. The Jewish nation is not Christian but is part of Western religious talk.
Okay, thanks, Julissa. Thanks for your participation. Uh, Lady Gutierrez also have to tell something about that. What do you think, Lady Gutierrez?
I think that Eastern religions is the most important and all that religions in around the world because the principal religions is Buddhism, Hinduism, and Taoism. They are characterized by the importance in the families and communities um, and expose the different philosophies and religions values. For example, the Buddhism has spread corners of the globe and its teaching have influenced many Western thinkers and philosophers. Thank you.
Okay, good. I like your opinion, Lady Gutierrez. So, Rubite, yes, has something to contradict your argument. Go ahead, your Ruby.
Okay, according to your intervention, I agree that Eastern religions have, there are many religions and they have good principles, but I want to talk about the prohibitions set it, especially to women. It's really clear that laws and religion in the countries affect seriously women. Another cultural aspect that is very notable is the use of the hijab, in some cases only worn in the head, but sometimes covering all the face and the body. This is named burqa, and it's mandatory to women to wear it, but men don't even have to cover any part of their body. In that way, daily we watch news about police brutality and unfair events towards women, only for don't wear it in the way it's imposed. They are treated like criminals for no reason, and this happens mainly in Muslim cultures and also in Islamic religions. So, thanks.
Okay, thanks for your participation. We are going to go to next with the next topic that is culture. In culture, we are going to talk about traditions, foods, and ethic and moral rules. So go ahead, Emily, to speak against the Western culture in that topic. Go ahead, Emily.
But in Western civilization, racial discrimination is evident in almost all areas. People of color are arrested, they are deprived of the right to vote, and this is why the circle of poverty falls on the wealthy. In Western civilization, the issue of immigrants is quite complex, and this has mainly to do with poverty in Latin America and also the insecurity in the lack of education.
Okay, good point. So Natalia Casas, Julissa Casas has two different point of view of you. Go ahead, Julissa.
Thank you, Camila. I think that is interesting because the Western culture, the main hallmark of the West, is individualism. They place more emphasis on personal success, freedom, and the ability to make decisions. The culture is linked to ancient Greece and Rome. Its ideals of beauty and art had their roots there. Its philosophy was based of that and Aristotle and Plato.
Okay, thanks, classmate Julissa. But what do you think, classmate Lady?
Okay, girls, in my religion, The principal, I mentioned the principal characteristics of topics. Um, the first is work in collectives and hierarchy and harmony. In this civilization, reflected the many aspects of Esther life, such family relationship and social interaction. The person is are happy and life is space space, yes. And the hierarchy respects a person elders is a high value because the elders are seen as having wisdom and experience. It's a value to the communities and families. The harmony often plays a high value in a harmony are balance in a balance in the different communities and they love the different topics, for example music, philosophy, and such an art. Thank you.
Thank you, classmate Leydi. So what do you think about that, Ruby Tellez?
Regarding to what I investigated, mainly the culture have women in the lower place. I know that I have talked a lot about women, but is not considered as important member of society. Because I have to mention some examples in some countries, like in some Middle East and North Africa. It, in in those tribes, women can inherit unless they marry their partner cousin. The patriarchal society norms assign to women the fulfillment of the home and marriage task. After that, they can pray, but only inside of their house. This is part of their culture, dismissing them of public places like the mosque. This happened in Islamic and Muslim religions. In the Arabian culture, the mother is the key shape in the patriarchal family. If they have a son, they receive respect and esteem, and society perpetuates the tradition that the man is the only one who works and maintains his wife. This makes women financially dependent of their husband. And I wanted to talk about what my classmate lady said. She said about that the elders are more important than younger members of the family, and sometimes they have to respect them more than we used to do in the Western culture. So maybe this has some complications. So that is my point of view. Thanks.
Okay, thanks. I love your opinion, classmate Ruby. The next topic we are going to talk about is role of women. It's a very important topic. So please, Emily, go ahead. Talk us about your point of view of the role of women in Eastern culture.
Okay. In some Western countries, it is still shown that women earn less than men for the same work. Femicide is one of the most important problems in some Western countries and which is growing over the years. Machismo is Western country is a common problem, and one of the most obvious is sexism, which refers to the attitude of women causing rejection in men.
Okay, thanks, classmate Emily. So what do you think about that, Julissa Casas?
Okay, Camila. This topic is very important because the woman's role have the autonomy and firmness to express themselves as they wish in any area. For the West, the female figure has a wide field of work. They maintain a more open mind with female competition and aspiration. There is equality.
Good point of view, Miss Julissa. So, what do you think, lady, about that?
Okay, partner, the roles of women in Eastern cultures vary depending of the specific culture and religion. Yes, in some cultures, the women are also expected to work outside at home, and but they are many limits to certain types and jobs. Um, I think the woman is the very important role in the families and communities because they also making significant progress in areas such as education and employment. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, classmate lady. It's very important the role of women in the society in general. I agree with you. So, finally, what do you want to say about that, Ruby Tellez?
I also agree with that the women is very important. And from some years from now, she had a good moment and she had fight for the rights. But there is a big difference between the two civilizations because the women role and how each religion perceive her after marriage. Because in European, women change their last name and take care husbands. But there's also a difference in the same civilization because Arabian women always keep their family last name in order to remember to their husbands. So they are supported by their family and clan. So in some cases, there is a there is so much. Okay, I forgot my idea. Um, yeah, there is women is very opposed, but men and religion, and it can also change. So I agree with some things of what she said about the importance of hair, and also there is something to learn and something to improve about laws and about religion because we are all forgetting the childhood and the girls that they have to go to school. So that is something that I'm gonna talk about in the next point. So thanks.
Okay, thanks, Ruby. I have just changed my point of view. I think the women in the Eastern civilization are very oppressive, and you took a topic very important that is the free of the woman and free expression of the woman and other things. Okay, thanks, Ruby. So the next topic that we are going to talk in this meeting is, and finally, this is education. So go ahead, Emily. What do you think about the education in the Western civilization?
The inequitable distribution of the access, permanence, and learning opportunities directly influence the deficiency of the Western school system. Western civilization has an inability to adequately perform educational system and obtain good results. The Western educational system is designed to see students as an economic resource since due to their high price, they must enter into loan contracts with private institutions. In Western countries, there are no guarantees of obtaining a job, the acquiring a professional degree.
Okay, thanks, Emily. In interesting point of view. What do you think, Julissa Casas?
Thank you, Camila. The education is very interesting because it's characterized by having an education of excellence. It's the first condition for freedom, democracy, and sustainable development. It was based on the religious tradition of the Jews and Christianity. Municipal and cathedral monastic schools were founded to Christian influence. The methodology focused on exposition, verbalism, direct training, and contemplation in order to serve the army. The country cultivate body and spirit.
Okay, thanks, Julissa. I agree with some things in your speech, but what do you think, Lady Gutierrez?
Okay, partners, the education in this civilization is very interesting because the education is highly valued in many Eastern cultures. It's seen as a way to improve social status and to contribute to the betterment of society. There are specific ideas around this idea. The first is emphasis on academic rigor. The students are expected to work and hard to achieve his grades. The discipline is follow the rules for part and students and competitive environment and respect for teacher is the important learn in the children and adolescents for the future and the education. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for your opinion. Finally, we are going to listen the Ruby speech about the Eastern civilization into the education. What do you think, Ruby?
Okay, I agree with what you said about that if people have money, they can pay a good education. And this happens too in all the civilizations, in both civilizations, actually, in Western and in Eastern. In some countries like Korea and Japan, there are like some more pressure against students to get a degree, a university degree, and this makes us some kind of status. So I'm gonna talk about I'm going to talk about other countries because women don't have the same access to school than men. This makes that if they are illiterate, the average of modern women increase. The overview isn't as different because in countries like Afghanistan, young women and girls don't have allowed to go to school, which increases poverty and forced child marriage. What provokes drastic decisions taken by them, by the girls, like running away from their home, and even they consider the suicide. So, not all the women in the most of countries in Eastern civilizations have the same access to education. So there is something that is kind of unfair. So yeah, it's very sad. So thank you.
Okay, thanks very much. I hope you like this video and thanks.
Okay.
Bye.
Thanks,
Bueno, ahora sí.
partners.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for having us.
Bye.